just a little bit of a disclaimer before this video starts, guys, that this is a full face of makeup, so this is going to be a long video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this makeup look that I did last night. I posted a picture to my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, in my little display picture up top, there are links to my channels like Facebook and Instagram, where I'll post makeup looks, and if you have any questions there, you can always ask as well. I try to be really good about answering anything here too. So I'm calling this like my mermaid eye. It's kind of like purple and teal color, like peacock kind of. I'm also gonna address some of the best products I think for fair to light skin girls for contouring and bronzing. I know that was a question on one of my videos. It is really difficult to find contour products for people that are light or fair skin that aren't gonna look muddy or like a greenish tingy weird colors. So I wanted to show you what my absolute favorite products are that I use on a daily basis. So you will see that in this video, as well as just some of my favorite blush products and some highlights that are good for people with fair to light skin. So if you guys are interested in how I got this look, please keep watching. So I just woke up, I just kind of put my hair up in a clip and I splashed some water on my face, I brushed my teeth, exfoliated my lips, and now I'm going to put some serums on. I really love my Obagi C serum. It helps give you luminous skin. But this Ole Henriksen, this vitamin C serum is also very good, and it's a lot cheaper. You can find this at Sephora. Everything I talk about, guys, will be linked below as always. If you're on desktop, click on show more, and if you are on a mobile device, just click the little arrow next to the name of this video and it will drop down. So for this, I'm gonna put a couple dots on my hand and I'm gonna rub it in my skin. I think it's really important for everybody to have really healthy skin, but I especially feel that for light skin girls, because since our skin is so fair and light, you can see any kind of discoloration a lot more on our skin type. So it is very important to take care of your skin and keep it exfoliated. Next, I'm gonna moisturize my lips, and for that I'm using my Dior Creme de Rose Balm. Now on to skin prep. This may seem like a lot of steps and a lot of products, but this is what I do, and this is what I found give me that good finish that I like on my foundation. So I keep all my skin prep in this back drawer, so I'm just gonna reach back here so I don't have to cart it back and forth. I keep the products in order as I use them back here. So first I'm going to take my Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Prep Spray, and I'm going to take my Codalil Grape Water. I use this every single day. Then I'm gonna take my MAC Moisture Infusion Serum, a couple of pumps. Rub that in, focusing on where I get really dry around the cracks of my nose and my chin. Bring that up onto your eyes too. My face gets really red when I rub it, just because like all the blood rushes to it. I have kind of sensitive skin, so if my face looks bright red after rubbing it, that's why. Next, I'm going to put on some sunscreen, which I do every single day. This is the Jane Marini Antioxidant Daily Face Protectant. This one is skin colored or flesh colored. Dot it on. Bring it down your neck. Next, I got this Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water to try out. I'll let you know how it goes after I've been using it for a little while. I've used it for probably like, I don't know, a week. Since I am dry skin, I feel like I can't get enough moisture down on my skin before I start doing my makeup. That way my skin stays really luminous and it looks very healthy. Next, this may seem a little weird, like you'd want to get moisturizers out of the way and like primers before, but I use this Tarte. This is the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. I use this to fill in anything on my face. Like I had a piercing here and a piercing here when I was a lot younger, and I do kind of have like little divots, little scars from them. So since I have nails on again, I'm going to use the back of my tweezers to pick this up. And I'm going to put some right around here where I get larger pores right around my nose, and just kind of wipe it in a downward motion, just because if you start rubbing this stuff, it is so thick it can ball up, so you don't want to do that. And then literally I honestly like spackle it in like spackle on a wall. I go over there and then I just kind of like pat this in. You don't want to rub it too much, but it will literally fill in, like it's filled in that piercing hole, it's gone. And then I do the same on this bottom one. And then again, tap. The more you rub, the more you're gonna kind of push the product around. I have a scar on my face where I was bit by a dog in 7th grade, or 6th grade, 7th grade. So I like to try to fill that in a little too so it can be smooth, and then I'm gonna put a little on my forehead right here. If you guys ever hear that spraying noise, it's because I have an air freshener in here that does that. So I don't notice this to make my makeup last any longer, but it definitely gives it a more smooth application. Next step is I like to have a luminous lotion or a primer kind of underneath. So for that, I either use my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector and Pearl, or I use this L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Today I'm going to use the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. Put a pump on the back of my hand, and then I'll just dab this on. Reason I put this on after that spackly primer is because if I put this on and then that spackly primer over it, it kind of mats it out while it's filling in the holes, so I like this on top better. Keep in mind too, this is a light reflecting primer. It's not glittery, but what it's gonna do is it reflects light back. So if you are taking lots of photography pictures or something, this could give you flashback where it's gonna look like you could be oily. Okay, now we have the base down, now it's time for foundation. My all-time favorite is MAC Face and Body. This is a water-based foundation, so it is very fluidy, if you can hear. It doesn't provide a lot of coverage. This is a sheer to light coverage. I like this because it doesn't give me cake face. It doesn't look like I'm spackling on the makeup. Now, if you have problematic skin, this is not going to be the foundation for you because you're going to want more coverage. So in that case, what I would do is I would mix in some of this Makeup Forever, the HD foundation. I really do like this foundation, but I find it to be a little too much coverage for me. It doesn't look as natural as I like. Now, don't get me wrong, there is not a whole lot natural about my makeup, but I do like my skin to look very healthy and kind of lit from within. So if you do have problematic skin and you have dry skin like me, I would mix these two together if you want. So what I would do is I would put like a pump of this dotted on my face like this, and then I would put the rest of this because this is a very luminous foundation. I've already shaken this, so I'm just gonna put this on my finger and I'm gonna dot it around my face. Again, this is the most liquidy foundation I own because it is water-based. And what this is gonna do is it's just gonna smooth out my skin. Now, I didn't always have the skin I have today. Not that my skin is perfect by any means, but I definitely have come a long way. Like before, I would never think of, I wouldn't want a sheer foundation. I'd be like, no, the more coverage the better. Now that I take really good care of my skin, I'm able to do this. So if you have any questions on what my skincare routine is, I did make a skincare video. That is a few videos back that you can watch. I do have my beauty blender. I just ran it under the water in the sink and I literally squeeze it like this. I've heard a bunch of people actually use this dry, so you can, I mean, but it's meant to be used wet. So you run it under the water and squeeze it a few times while it drinks in, and then I'm gonna take my towel and just squeeze it in there. And then I'm gonna take some MAC Fix Plus. Well, it's almost gone, good thing I have a backup. Spray it on my face, and then I'm going to blend in with the back of my beauty blender, and I'm not gonna be pulling or tugging, I'm gonna bounce. And then I just go along my jawline, but this is a really good match for my skin, so I don't really have to blend down onto my neck. There are times for like maybe a special occasion that I want to look tan that I will go and spray tan. And I do have a ton of fake bake products, literally that's the name of it, and I do love them. But I just don't like, I exfoliate my face every single night, and if you do that, you can't put fake tan on your face because then you're exfoliating it off, so then your face is a different color than your body, and I mean, makeup is difficult already. I do not want my face to be a different shade than my neck and wake up looking like I had a head transplant or something. So I don't care to fake tan, and I've kind of like embraced the color of my skin. I find when you fake tan too, it settles in fine lines and things, and it can cling to certain areas of your face and not look very natural. It can actually age you, I find. So you may look tan, but you probably are gonna look older. So I just don't do it. Now it is concealer time. So this is the time where you could spot conceal instead of having like a huge thick layer of makeup down. If you want to use a really sheer coverage foundation and then go in spot conceal where you need that extra coverage, you can do that. Really right now, once I put my concealer and everything on, I don't think I'll have to do that. So I'm gonna show you. First, I'm gonna use this NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium Custard. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go underneath where I have some discoloration in my eyes, just right there. Because you need something that's not lighter to make sure that you color correct. Anything that's like a biscuity shade will cancel out blue and purple tones. What I'm gonna do is take the pointy end of my beauty blender and I'm just gonna blend that in. So it's gonna look a little darker under here for a minute. Apparently I can't blend my makeup in without opening my mouth. It's like a problem. Then I'm going to take my favorite concealer of life. This is the MAC Pro Longwear in shade NW15. In MAC foundations, I'm an NW20. So you do want to take something for highlighting that is a little lighter. And when you're already fair or light, it can be really difficult to find something like that. And I find this one has, I think, an NW10 as well. I think one more shade lighter. Maybe not. Maybe this is the latest one. But what I'm going to do is take it on the back of my paw palette and just one pump of it. Then I'm going to take, I do that because I don't like putting makeup on my hand because then I rub it on myself and it's everywhere. I'm going to take my Beauty Addicts eye blender brush and I'm going to paint this on. I have a square face, meaning the points of my forehead, my cheekbone, and my jaw are pretty much all in a line like this. They're not like, one isn't come out like this and come back around. So you want to highlight for your face shape. So what I'm going to do is I highlight under my eyes. And the purpose of really, you know, highlighting and contouring is kind of to try to give you an oval shaped face. So what I'm going to want to do too is draw attention down the middle of my face. This is going to help elongate it. And you want to go down your nose, and I'm going to go down my chin. And sometimes on spots that I get a little red, where you want to bring light to. So the corners of my mouth, on the corner of my nose. Just because I like to be really hydrated, you don't have to do this many steps. I'm going to take my MAC Fix Plus, and then I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to blend it in. So I'm just going to pounce, don't pull. The key to not getting under eye creasing and things too is making sure that they're hydrated. Now what I want to do is add some warmth to my face since I basically just whited out any color I had left. For that I'm going to use my Chanel. This is the Soleil Tan de Chanel in Bronze Universal. They do refer to this as a bronzing base, but I use it on top of my foundation. And I mean, a little goes a long way. You can see the dent in here, but I've had this quite a long time. I'm going to use this on my Sigma F84 brush because I want to do a very targeted warmth to my face right now. A lot of times I use my Marc Jacobs bronzing brush. I'm going to kind of like suck in my cheeks a little bit just so I can see where that cheekbone is. And you can kind of see it here too without anything. But so I'm going to stamp this. I'm not going to rub. I'm going to stamp this along the top of my cheekbones, like where I would have gotten sun naturally. See? And hold on, don't freak out. So I'm going to do that on this side too. Like that. And it looks super harsh right now. Don't worry, I am going to blend it. And I'm going to add some warmth to the border of my face. Not too much. But I find this is my favorite bronzing cream because it is so natural looking against fair skin. I mean, this isn't gonna be for someone that's very dark. Now I'm gonna take my beauty blender and I'm just gonna kind of blend that out. You want it to look like a natural sun kiss. And this is like a mousse-like consistency, this bronzer. Now you can see I've added some warmth to my face, and this isn't the end because even, you know, right now it looks a little harsh. You want to get the use of all cream and liquid products out of the way before you go in with powder. If you don't like to use creams or liquids, this Bobbi Brown Golden Light shade 1 is a great bronzer. And I mean, for most people this might look like that's not really a bronzer, but for fair to light people, this is a great one, and it's natural looking. And it's actually what I use to set the cream products because you always should set cream or they can kind of roam around your face. For light people, again, it can be really hard to find highlighting powders because you are so fair. You know, a lot of them are really yellow based, and if I put a lot of yellow underneath my eyes, it'll look very sallow looking and sickly. And I just want to make sure that I'm adding brightness to that area. So for that, this is one of the pro shaping powders. So you do have to buy this in a pro store or you can buy it online, and this is Emphasize. Yep, Emphasize. So I'm going to take that little no-name brush that I love by Twin Beauty, and I'm going to swirl that in just the white shade, and I'm going to set my under eye concealer. So I'm going to just go in that little triangle where I put it. Sometimes I go over my eye too. I'm going to bring that down. So that's lightening it, and then anywhere else that I set that concealer. Now I like to go through and set that bronzer I put on. So for that I'm using my Bobbi Brown Golden Light 1, and I'm going to use this Sigma F05 small contour brush. Just tap it in there. I'm not really trying to deepen it up. I just want to kind of dry it out so it doesn't move. Next I'm going to contour, and out of every single product I have, this is the one I use every day because I feel like it's the most flattering on my skin tone. This isn't something that would work for everybody because of the shade. If you're much darker than me, this is definitely not going to work for you. But my favorite colors to contour with are my Inglot. So these are magnetically in there. You can build your own palettes and it's kind of hard. So my mom got me this magnet to get them out, which is awesome. So I'm going to show you, just go there. So my favorite one is this. This is shade 504. And you can see it's like a purpley taupe color. You want something that is gonna imitate a shadow, but it's not gonna make you look sick and like dark gray, or like a, I call it, it's so like a split pea, or like looks like you smeared poop on your face or something, which is gross. But I've seen some colors that I put on that I'm like that Becca low light perfector I have looks like poop. It's gross. So I'm going to take some of this 504, and my two favorite brushes to contour with are my NARS Ita brush and my MAC 168. But I am going to do what I normally do. So I'm taking my 504 and I'm dipping my NARS Ita brush in there. I just pounce it twice, and then I'm going to go right under where I put that bronzer. So you can suck your cheeks in if you want, but I'm going to take this. And normally you don't want to come too far down, but with this, and since I'm light, I can go a little further down to kind of give me more of a chiseled look. The further in I'm going to come, the more it's going to look like my cheeks are sunken in. And sometimes I'll even go as far as to take a fluffy brush. This is just like the MAC 224 or that Sigma Dupe 4. I'll list it below, and then I'll just touch this in there, and then you can really even go and carve that out a little more. Like bring that down. Just tap it. I take that same brush and I go underneath my lip to give some shadow. Now you're gonna wanna, for a lot of people, contour your nose. For that I'm gonna use a Sigma, the P84 brush, and I'm going to tap it in that same color. And I'm going to light hands with this, or you'll look like Michael Jackson. Some girls go a little heavy contouring. And my eyes are fairly further set apart than a lot of people, so I wanna bring shadow right into that corner to kind of make them look closer together. Then you want to just go down that sides of your nose, and this is going to give it a slimming effect. And then you can even go around the tip of it if you need to, and then I dust my brush off and I go back through and make sure you blend that really well. You just want this to look like a shadow. You don't want this to look like a harsh line. I'm going to take on my MAC 168 brush, I'm going to take that same color, I'm going to contour my jaw. So really and that'll give you that chiseled look. So where you really want to start is behind your ear here, right on this jawline piece. And you're going to take it, you know, add some shade there so it looks like your jaw cuts off. Can you tell the difference on that already? And then I'm going to take it and dust that all under here, and same thing right here. Then I'm going to take it one step further and kind of add a little dimension to my contour, and I'm going to take this shade by Inglot, this 502, and this is an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. I'm just going to tap that in there once, and I'm going to go back on where I did that contour, just right on that back piece right here. Do the same right here, and you're just gonna blend that out with that same brush. You're just adding some dimension to it. I know this looks really dark in the camera, but don't worry, once I'm done, it all ties together. Now to clean up that contour line a little further, I'm going to take this Smashbox. This is part of their step-by-step contour sticks, but this is the highlight shade, and I'm going to really carve out my contour. So I'm going to take it from basically the top of my ear, you know, right on where this line is, and I'm going to draw it down to the corner of my mouth, and then I almost like to hook this around too. So same thing on this other side. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender again, and I'm going to blend out that line. And what we're doing is, this is like reverse contouring. You are cleaning up that line so it looks a little more cut. Out of all the products for fair light skinned people, these are the ones that are my personal favorite. So some people call this baking, if you will, when they put some powder on and they kind of leave it setting for a minute. This is the Inglot 503 powder, and what I'm going to do is pick that up on this e.l.f. blush brush, and I'm going to go over where I just put that, and I'm going to kind of go on with it heavy like this. And then after I give it a second, I'm going to brush it off. If you can see, this is really chiseled out. It makes me look thinner, and it makes my cheekbones look higher. I just leave it on there for a minute, and then I'm gonna go through with just a little, this is called the Bullet. It's just a little blending brush, and kind of blend that in so that it's not powdery anymore. Some girls always do their eye makeup first. I only do that if I'm working with like a really heavy pigment that's gonna have some fallout. Otherwise, I prefer to go over my eye area with my foundation and everything to kind of blend it in. Now you can see how my contour has kind of come together. It doesn't look as harsh as it did, or maybe it does, I can't tell. Next, I'm gonna prep my eyes for eyeshadow, and for that, I'm going to use my Urban Decay Primer Potion. And since I have claws on, it's kind of hard to really get in there without having it skip right there. So what I do is I put it on with my ring finger, because that's your weakest finger in your hand and you shouldn't really be tugging on the area. And then I take this Sigma P80 and I just blend that in. I don't really notice this to cover up veins or anything, like if your eyelids are super veiny. But it does prevent the eyeshadow from creasing. If you want something that's more of like a completely blank slate, I would try MAC's Paint Pots. I use it, since I am fair again, I use in Painter Lee. The one that's soft ochre is really yellow based and it just looks really odd on my eye. So again, I'm taking that up and I'm blending it in. You get in the corner here too, because if you miss that area, your eyeshadow can look like it skips. So make sure it's just all covered. So yesterday before I went to the movies, I was playing around with some of my eyeshadows and I did kind of like a little bit of like a mermaid inspired eye where it was like purple with like kind of greenish teal blue reflects. So I'm gonna do that for you guys today. And the method I'm gonna be using is often referred to as like the spotlight technique, where it kind of looks like the middle of your eyelid is shimmery and more reflective. First, what you want to start with is, if you want it to be really vibrant, is a base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Psychedelic Sister by Urban Decay. You could use like something like this Jordana. This is a 12-hour made to last eyeshadow pencil, and this is Prolong Purple. I'm going to use the Psychedelic Sister. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it right here on the inside corner of my eye, just on the lid. Don't go up into the crease. Just like this. A piece there in the middle, and then I'm gonna leave a big blank spot in the middle of my eyelid, and I'm gonna go out to the corner. Just like that, if you can see. That's on. I'm going to take a brush to kind of just blend that in a little bit, and for that I'm gonna use this Sigma P86 brush. I'm just gonna go in that corner and kind of rub it in, blend it out a little bit. You do need to work with these, fairly quickly, because it can set and then you might not be able to move it. It doesn't have to be perfect because it is just a base. This is just supposed to make the color that we're gonna put on a lot more vibrant. Make sure you get right into that corner, like that. Now I have that base on, I'm going to work on my transition. That I'm gonna pick up my MAC 224, and these are the Anastasia eyeshadows. These are the palettes I just kind of depotted. I'm going to pick up Fresh Peach, and I'm just going to lay that down as a transition color right above my crease, because keep in mind I do have hooded eyes, so meaning when my eyes are open you don't see very much of my eyeshadow, so we don't want to close those off even further. So right above. Next, on my Sigma E35 brush, I'm going to tap it in that soft peach, and I'm going to also pick up some of this burnt orange. Click that off, and then I'm going to go right like in my crease but a little above it as well. Now I'm going to pick up some more of that burnt orange on my MAC 217 brush, and I'm really going to focus that in this crease, back and forth, trying to make sure that the heaviest concentration of the color is on the outside. Sorry I'm using a million brands, guys, across. It must be driving you nuts, but I was just playing around yesterday and this is what I came up with, so I'm just redoing it. This is MAC's Copper Plate, this like grayish color, and I'm going to pick that up again on my MAC 217, and I'm going to really focus this on this outside V and in that crease. You can't see it because it's down on my desk, but I'm obsessed with this color switch because I can use my brushes again without having to have new ones or wash them. So what I do is, it's just like a hair donut piece in here. I just swirl my brush around in there, and then I'm going to go back through and keep blending. So go back on that line and blend up. Yeah, another brand, I'm sorry. This is Inglot 441. This is the eyeshadow I used in my makeup tips, or like common makeup mistakes. So I'm going to take that on my MAC 242 brush, and I'm going to pack this over that purple, just on the purple. Don't go on the whole eyelid, just up into the crease. Now you see I have a blank spot in the middle of my eyelid. Their makeup brand, sorry, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever M928. which is just like a matte eggplant purple, and I'm taking that on my Sigma E25, and I'm just going to go and work this in the crease and focus it again on the outside corner of your eye, but you want to bring it all the way in. I go back through and blend, so I'm taking that Sigma E35 again, and I'm going to go back and forth over that area. I'm actually going to pick up some more of that burnt orange on my MAC 217 and go back over that area too to help blend it out and add a little bit of warmth to it. You know, again, since I have hooded eyes, I want to make sure it's actually a little above my crease because I want to be able to see those eyeshadows. Now, you can leave the purple like this if you want. I want it a little more shimmery, so I'm going to pick up this Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow in the color Caitlin Rose. And I'm going to pick that up on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to dab it in. I'm going to go over that area of purple I had on there. Again, taking my Sigma E25, I'm going to go back and forth over the crease of my actual eye and just make sure that that's all nicely blended. Now I'm going to take some Too Faced, this is the Shadow Insurance, but the glitter glue, and if you're working with any kind of loose pigment or glitter, this is really a necessity. So I'm going to put just a small little dab on my finger like that, and I'm going to go over that blank spot on my eyelid, so this middle piece. Kind of like spirit gum if you've ever worked with that on like Halloween, it gets tacky. So this is a pigment that's very similar to MAC's blue brown pigment, and I really like this. This is Inglot. I got this at the Dallas makeup show and I've kind of been obsessed with it since. This is their Pure Pigment eyeshadow in shade 85. I am going to clean off my MAC 242 on that color switch I have. Then I'm going to pick up some of this pigment, just a small amount, on my brush, kind of click it off. Then I'm going to spray it with some MAC Fix Plus to get it wet. And now I'm going to focus this right on that inside part, or that blank spot in the middle of my eye. And you want to pat, don't swipe, pat. If you need, you can go back in and get some more. I'm just going to kind of like trickle it into the rest. So what's left on my brush, I'm just gonna kind of blend into that purple. Can you see that? I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this Makeup Forever 92 eyeshadow. Now you can use any kind of purple you want. I just really want to try to make this blend a little better. So any kind of bright purple or deep purple, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm just gonna go right above that crease and just kind of make sure everything's blended in. Then go back through with your MAC 224 and make sure you blend that top line. Now I'm going to just take a flat shader brush. This is something I have from Bodyography Forever. And I'm going to take like a creamy white color. This is Vanilla by MAC. You can use whatever you have and whatever you want. And I'm going to highlight from my brow bone. And I'm going to blend it down into the shadows that I have there. Now I don't want to use a sparkly highlight on my brow bone because I already have a lot of sparkle in my eye. Then I'm going to highlight my inner corner with some MAC Nylon. Real Techniques brush I have and swirl it in there. This is a very intense highlight and I'm just going to go right on the corner of my eye right here. You can see the difference that makes. It adds some light to your eye. On a MAC 219 pencil brush, I'm going to pick up some of that shade 92 from Makeup Forever and I'm going to line the bottom of my eyes with that. I actually bought this brush on accident. I was like rambling off talking to the sales associate and I picked up a MAC 252 instead of another MAC 242. So I've actually found the perfect use for this though. It was floating back and forth between my brush cups, between my concealer, and then I had it in foundation for powder foundation, and then back to my eyeshadow. And what I really love doing with this is smoking out the bottom line of my eyeshadow because it's really flexible and it's not as stiff. It doesn't bother my eye. Like sometimes going over really heavy with the pencil brush will really irritate my eye. So I take this and I'm just gonna go back and forth over where I just put that eyeshadow on the bottom. Now I'm gonna go back through with that Makeup Forever M928 and I'm going to focus this on the outer corner and bring it over just a little. Then go back through with the MAC 252 and smoke that out. Now I'm going to take this Ardency In Black Kohl Liner and I'm going to tightline the top of my eyes. And for the bottom waterline, I'm going to go in with the Psychedelic Sister by Urban Decay that we used as a base. Next are eyebrows. I do get permanent cosmetics on my eyebrows and normally I would just go in and touch up with some powder, but since my eye is kind of intense right now, I want them to be a little darker and crisper and cleaner looking. So for that, I'm going to use my Dip Brow Pomade and Taupe. So I'm just going over the lines that are already there. So if you can see, this brow just looks a little more polished now than this one. Okay, I'm going to use the graphite in my eyebrows because I want them to be a little darker. So if you're light colored skin like I am, it can be really difficult to find a highlighter that actually pulls light and like a shiny look to your face without looking. Some of them I put, like if it's a really gold based on my face, it can start to look yellow, greenish, just not flattering on my skin types. So for today, I'm going to use the Inglot, the pressed powder in shade 59. This is basically like a stark white powder that has some reflective qualities in it. If you can see on my hand here, taking that on my Sigma F35 tapered highlight brush. Now you can see it packs on there, and I'm gonna go on the top of my cheekbones. I'm gonna do this before the blush because I want the blush to look like it's kind of coming out of there. You want to take that back, and don't go too heavy like underneath your eye. Sometimes people bring that in and it just starts to look like a disco shiny ball. I have a few blush brands for fair skin girls, light skin, that are my absolute favorite. None of them tops Hourglass. These Hourglass ambient lighting blushes are amazing. Today I'm going to take the Dim Infusion one, which is a coral color, and I'm going to pick that up on my MAC 129 short handle brush, and I'm just going to put that on the apples of my cheeks and blend that back into that contour, if you see now. I don't really curl my eyelashes that often because I wear false eyelashes, and if you curl them too much, it can make it really difficult to lay the lash down with them flipping up. But I've been experimenting with some stuff, so I'm gonna do it today too. So I'm gonna take my eyelash curler and I'm gonna go as close to the base as I can, because when you have hooded eyes, you really want your eyelashes to flip up. And that's why I can get away with wearing such heavy eyelashes, is because I have a large space with my hooded eye between where my eyelashes stop and my actual eyebrow bone. So I can have heavier eyelashes, where opposed to someone that has like lower down, it might look weird. So I'm gonna crimp it at the base, I'm gonna crimp it in the middle, and then kind of tip it up at the end. So now I want to coat my bottom eyelashes with mascara, and for that I'm going to use my MAC Giga Black. I'm going to take my Ico Black Magic Mascara and I'm going to do my top ones. Now for my lips, I'm going to use this NARS lip liner in El Agua. I'm going to line my lips. And I'm just going to fill in the lips with that lip liner. And then I'm going to take some of this Buxom. This is one of their True Nude Lip Foundations in the shade Buff. And I'm going to focus that on the middle of my lips right here to add some dimension. I'm going to take this Mauve Mystique by the Color Elixirs, Color Sensation by Maybelline. I'm going to paint that all over. Last but not least, to complete this look, is time for eyelashes. Today I'm going to wear one of my favorites that are the House of Lashes Temptress style. These bottom ones right here. I'm going to use my Duo Dark Adhesive just because my eye look is so dark that this is not new user friendly, the dark, because if you accidentally touch the eyelash, any part of your eye, it could have like a gray or black mark on it where you'll try to pick that glue off and it can be a nightmare. So if you're just starting off in eyelashes, I recommend the clear, and I normally use the clear for everything, the surgical one I like. This is a bit much for a Sunday brunch that I'm going to be going to with my boyfriend, but I wanted to do this tutorial for you guys. I'm gonna go do my hair, guys, and I'll be right back. Get my mermaid brunch on. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below, as well as any future video requests, and I will do my best to accommodate those for you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.